And we're live. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We've got Daniel Lee. Daniel, you're fantastic. Thank you for always for showing up, and we can rely on you. Then we got one Bridge 11. Hopefully, more people will be joining us tonight. Hopefully, more guests will be joining us tonight. We if anybody's heard from Noel, he's gone AWOL. So maybe he went to buy toilet paper. We don't know.
He'll be out for the long haul on that one, but go ahead.
We all hope he's okay. And Bowelstrek hopefully will be along soon. Blue Bonnet should be along, about half hour or so?
Yeah, probably 20 minutes or so.
20 minutes or so. Fine. So we're in new territory. We're doing something different. We're talking about Breaking Bad. I just watched the first episode tonight. Have you seen it recently?
I renewed the first episode just to get it to make sure, I kind of got all the ins and outs of it and wanted to be fresh. For it, so yeah, I kind of gave myself a refresher.
Did you watch it on Netflix?
Yeah,
did you watch it?
Yeah. Fortunately,
is it the have they downgraded the picture? Because I was worried because I got it on Blu-ray and I'm like a real video file, so I wanted to have it like as good as I could get it. Like because it looks beautiful. Well, like, did you notice them downgrading?
I didn't. I guess I don't really have anything to compare it to as far as Blu-ray. So, I mean, the quality looked good. I know. The thing with YouTube is that you can still select higher quality. It's just the default is lower res.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I thought. It's YouTube and Netflix. Everything's.
Is it all of them?
I think so. Yeah, all the services. Okay. I think they have to. They're just the infrastructure just isn't there for everybody home all the time.
Yeah, they're getting
crazy. Breaking Bad is a good show you want to binge. It's a good show for the apocalypse.
Yeah, I mean you'll have plenty of time. You have plenty of time for all the episodes now. So.
Yeah, there's only 7 episodes in the first season. Boom, you can be
Yeah, you can be done with the entire collection there. Maybe by the time we all go back to work.
Yeah, there's like 50, 60 episodes. Oh yeah, easy.
Something like No problem.
Well, how long do you reckon it is before people are back at work? I know, this is where we're gonna struggle. How long do you think it's going to be?
I think it depends on the country you're in. In America, I think Donald Trump's kind of getting turned on to the idea of everybody going back in a couple of weeks. Or he wants to loosen some of the restrictions in a couple of weeks. He feels like the economy here is just going to cause more problems. The cure is going to be worse than the disease, in his opinion, if we do not all get back to work within 2 or 3 weeks. So I think he's pushing for 2 or 3 weeks.
If he's pushing for it, it's probably going to happen.
Yeah. What about you?
No.
You guys are in for the long haul.
Yeah. It's they're being really cautious. It's just like really cautious. Well, I think they got a new rule there. I think they're announcing now, or they're announcing tonight, that you can't go more than 100 meters from your house.
Oh wow!
Yeah, let me look up. Yeah, I'm always scared every time the Prime Minister talks. I'm like, oh God, really? No, let them have a night off.
Do you have a guard posted outside your?
Oh yeah, I mean, was it Minister approved new lockdown rules? Oh God, really? What's the new rules? Haven't been made. Fine, I'll find out about them in the morning. Who cares? Yeah. So it's actually, again, doesn't really make any difference to my life whatsoever. Yeah, yes, I did say it. It is super, super cringe, but I feel bad. I'm sorry, talking to One Bridge 11. I feel bad, kind of. Roasting. He asked if I saw the Imagine thing of the celebrities doing Imagine.
Oh yeah,
it's super cringe, but I feel bad ranking like roasting them for it because I think their intentions were so good. They so wanted to be good. I felt, okay. Normally they just want to be dicks. So when they want to be dicks, like when it's Harvey Weinstein, I'm like, yeah, okay, we can take the piss out. Or even better, the entirety of the comic book medium, all the writers that have literally destroyed it are all just they're in paroxysms of crying tonight and over the last day because the comic book industry is over. It's finished.
As good as their intentions were, it was awful. It was just, not that they were such bad singers, but the whole thing was just God. God help us.
It was really cringe. It was very, very cringe.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I just felt bad for them. I think they just really want to do something nice, and they didn't realize it will be so cringy. Again, listen, if you're surrounded, I always have to remind myself that they're like that show Entourage. You ever seen Entourage?
Refresh my memory real quick.
Entourage was an HBO show about a this like movie star and the group of people who his entourage. It was produced by Mark Wallenberg, and I think it was essentially his life. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I heard of the show. I don't think I ever drilled down into it.
Oh, it's fun. It's quite fun. I tell you, HBO Max, if it launches, that is the streaming service I want. It's got just tons of shows. What's the other show I love right now on HBO? I was very impressed with Westworld. That's really saying that just came out and said sorry to everybody for season 2. That's what that episode 2 was. It was just like, I think that's why they waited to episode 2 to make it clear we're apologizing for season 2. It's like, yeah, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, look, we got carried away. Everybody was talking about Me Too. Just everybody, and we all thought we should do that. And I now we look at it, we go, well, that was kind of stupid, and we're embarrassed. So we're going back to what things are supposed to be. And please come back. We've just spent $100 billion a minute on this show. Please.
Oh man, that's just one of those shows that I really need to get into. I just, honestly, I
don't know, because that first season is brilliant.
Is it really bad?
No, the first season is brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. But because it's so brilliant, it hurts you so much that the second season is so like corrupted, and it just doesn't work because it's so obsessed with like Me Too.
All right, I got it. Okay.
Yeah. But
watch the first season. Just don't expect anything.
The first season is fantastic. It's like breathtakingly good. It's got what's his name in it? Great actor.
You're not talking about Ed Harris by chance, are you?
No, not Ed Harris. The other one. Was it Hopkins? Anthony Hopkins did it.
Yeah.
He's just fantastic. I saw him live, by the way. I know we're going off on many tangents right now. I saw him live doing M Butterfly in London. That was really cool.
He was doing on. Okay, interesting.
On Broadway in the West End.
Wow, that must have been pretty pretty powerful performance to see live.
Yeah, and it's cool because it was in the National Theatre, where it's like it's much more you're much closer to the stage in that.
Yeah,
it's much more intimate.
I can't even imagine just watching the guy do it in real time. That's cool.
Yeah, it's so cool, and because this was like London in the 80s. You could just go there, and I got a ticket on the day for like £5, which was nothing. And it was great. It was just fantastic. I just walked in, matinee, and it was just okay. It's one of
it's worth it just for the £5,
of our age, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so look, let's start talking about Breaking Bad. We've gone around the houses. Fine. So what? I just watched it tonight, and I haven't seen it
since it came on the first time.
I don't know if it's been that long, but it's been quite a long. It's been quite a long time. Wasn't it? Jeffrey Wright's good in everything. Chris Pershing said Jeffrey Wright was good in season 1. Jeffrey Wright is good. I would see him in anything, but he's I just know off camera he's crazy. He's got this crazy political views that he very much believes in. So I'm like, yeah, okay then, but I would see Jeffrey Wright in pretty much anything. I just love his performance. So I'm sorry to go right, but sorry, Chris Berger, you distracted me with you making sense. Breaking Bad. I haven't seen it for many years.
And this is your first time being re-exposed to the first episode.
Right. So my first impression was that it's a lot more depressing than I remember, because I forgot how terrible his life was.
Yeah.
That they made it, but I just wanted him cooking crystal meth. Just please get. And I was so happy when they finally got him to cook crystal meth. And when Aaron Paul showed up, they were supposed to kill him off after 2 or 3 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I could so see why they kept him. He's it was the performances that were really sparking it. And you could really see where it was going to go, and the potential it had. But I just remember that first bit before he snapped and he started cooking crystal meth. I was like, oh man, this is kind of sucky.
So for you, what were if you had to pick one or two or whatever, what were the standout moments in that first episode for you that really you thought, now that was a good scene, and that was,
Oh,
if you had to pick something, and it doesn't have to be anything huge. I got a couple of them that really aren't big.
I like the pre-title sequence. That's fantastic. I just felt his like humiliation just growing and being more and more crushed as you see how really shitty his life is. I mean, just like how just terribly shitty his life is.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. This is kind of the story. For a long time in the show, and believe it or not, because I really hadn't noticed the name to me, Breaking Bad, just the name. I know this sounds stupid to a lot of people, but I didn't understand, like, well, what do they mean Breaking Bad? And it didn't hit me until I watched the show recently for the stream. And because I missed the part. I missed the part when he was talking to Aaron Paul originally, and he said, you go from this straight-laced whatever, you're going to break bad. And then it hit me. It's like, oh, okay. So it never hit me before what even the term Breaking Bad meant. Right. So, but yeah, I mean, the whole progression going from a guy who, honestly, his life kind of sucks, Oh
my God, so much.
His life kind of sucks. And then he gets this news, and getting the news, and you see him zoning out. There was a scene when he's sitting in the chair. You remember he's sitting in the chair and he's just zoning out, and the doctor, is calling his name. Right. And that one part stuck out to me. It was just funny. It was one of the highlights.
Oh, wait, he's looking at like the mustard stage.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, you just got the death sentence, and you got mustard. He's obsessed with it. He's compelled to mention the mustard. He just can't help but focus on the mustard.
You're going to. Yeah, but I think that's just struck me as really realistic. Like your mind just like does stuff like that when it's
because you're just trying to focus on something completely.
Right,
different than what it's something to distract you from whatever you just heard. Yeah, but that really, I know that's not a big thing. No, but it just really kind of, I just thought that was really funny. The other, I think him just receiving that news, obviously that took his life in a completely different direction, and you see him start taking chances and doing things he would never do. And
I think the first time he did the first like real manifestation of that is when he like clobbered the kids in the when the son was getting the pants.
Oh yeah.
I think that's the first time he like really like snapped. Like, oh no, was it? He quit his job.
Yeah, and that was the scene, him quitting his job. I just that was one of the other. That was the other highlight when he just F you and your eyebrows.
Right.
That I just thought that's great. I mean, how can everybody? You're sitting there watching the guy, and you're obviously distracted by his eyebrows, and they address it in that one scene, and I thought that was awesome. So those two scenes for me, there's a lot to appreciate.
I wonder if they wrote it in the script that they wanted the guy with like eyebrows, or if it's something that
if he ad-libbed.
Yeah. I could certainly see him ad-libbing this, right?
Yeah, I could see that too. That's quite possible. Don't know. It was great though. I just thought that was so perfect because it's just. Right. I'm sure. Do you think his eyebrows were really like that, or do you think they kind of played him up for the show?
I don't know. I mean, I think probably.
I guess you could look up the actor and see if his eyebrows are like that naturally, but
yeah,
but anyway.
I think they probably played them up.
Yeah, they probably did because I can't imagine. My guess. That would be kind of depressing to be that actor, and then they ad-lib that part and keep it in there. So, but
I don't know. Well, you know what that was like? You ever seen was it Borat movie?
Yeah.
Okay, that bit where they're running naked through the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was shot in about 6 different hotels.
Oh wow!
Because they could only do one before they were thrown out and arrested. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a similar sort of thing,
Yeah.
It's like you can only do if you're ad-libbing it, you can only do so much.
Well, that for me though, I know those aren't big scenes, but to me that was kind of those are just the things, little things like that. Just I thought were just great. So
you know what really leaked out of me, and I only know this because I've like seen Vince Gillian, is it Gilligan or Gilligan? I don't know. I've seen him being interviewed a lot, but I read all the behind the scenes stuff. So I could really see how Hank was written to be one way, and the what's his name, the guy playing him, how his performance just took it in a totally different direction. Like, he was really written to be a dick. He was really written to be like this jock, this dick who's like stupid. But because he's so personable, and he read that, he did the lines and he did it right, he did it everything, but he was just still likable and still like he made it more like
he kind of became this character who you didn't want to like him, but he was kind of like your ass of an uncle, that you just you like him, but I know exactly what you mean. He was he was that type of guy, right? Likable, but yet a real, some part of you wants to kick him between the legs.
Well, yeah, again, but he was really written to be he was really written for you to hate him. Was that it? Yeah, and he was like, and because he was played like that. Well, I wish I could remember him in the actor, but I can't remember. But because he was that performance, and you're
talking about Dean Norris, or is it?
That's the one. That's the one. Yeah, because his performance was so different to how he imagined it, and so good. It took the character in a completely different direction.
Yeah,
and so by the time the end of the season, spoiler alert, that he doesn't make it, is like so wrenching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he kind of made the character his own. I mean, if you had, this is just a case of, in my opinion, this is a case of really good casting. Because all those characters, their personality on screen fit with what you're seeing visually. There's certain people that they just don't seem to fit their character. Either the way they look or their. Say that again.
We're talking about the 13th Doctor, yeah. I agree completely.
Yeah. That's the prime example. But there's
I was going to say that it's not just. It's that there's a really excellent in every direction. It's great, excellent casting, excellent writing, fantastic characters that you really cared about, and a really great premise and setup. And yet, with all that, the guy who was in charge of, was it AMC, whatever channel this was on? He still he said, well, I just don't get how it's going to be a show. I just don't get. And he's like, I guess we'll give you 6-7 episodes. They talked him into it because everybody else liked it.
Right. I don't know. I don't know if the guy he had seen the show by that point, or was he?
No. This was just when they were pitching it in the initial stages.
Oh, okay.
It was basically like Mr. Chips becomes Scarface. That was the elevator pitch.
Okay. I mean, I don't know, maybe depending on how it was pitched, but if you actually see, if they had done a workup of the show, or I don't know, and I don't know if they do a test screening or how they do it. But if you see a preview of the show, I'm sure, how can you watch that and not think, well, this is a good show.
That it's actually a thing. One of the best pilots in getting you sucked into a show.
Yeah.
I can't think what other pilots were better. Sopranos, but it's really up there with the best of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right though. There's a lot of elements. It's not just the casting. I just mean this is one of those shows where they really did a great job with the cast. I mean, because I'm kind of one of the, of course I have to have a good script. I have to have a good story. But
they did. You're right. The cast was everybody was excellent.
Yeah, because if for me, I mean, there's people. I guess I think there's people out there. They're just fine with a good story. You can just, they'll take any. I don't know anybody, but they'll take. You could take a CW, throw a bunch of CW actors on there. They're fine. I just need a little more than that. And the show. Granted, look, I haven't seen the entire series. I will admit. Okay, I never finished it. So this is.
Oh wow! Really?
Yeah. So
you're voted for you. Oh my god! I had no idea.
Yeah. Well, so don't hold that against me.
Oh man, I had no idea.
Look, but don't get me wrong. I've seen enough of the show, and I've watched. I know how it ends. Okay, so, because I've seen, I've skipped ahead here and there. So, but I've seen enough of the show. I understand what the hell's going on, and I know.
Yeah, cool.
I understand why it's popular. This is just one of those I never got around to, finishing it, and I just never did. But that being said, you know, I understand why it's popular, and I know I liked what I've seen. So so on that note, though, I mean, in that regard, yeah, I think they got the story right, the casting right, and well, they got it all. They, you know, they got everything pretty much. It seemed like they got everything
the
right.
casting is really, really spot on with it.
Yeah, yeah. I think Bryan Cranston turned in a real, you know, it's just they're all believable.
That's interesting. Do you think they knew what they had with Bryan Cranston?
That's a good question because, I mean, really, honestly, if you think about it, I mean, unless you're hiring someone who you know, like you know that when you hire them, you're going to get, I mean, this is whatever they're due, it's going to be gold. So I don't know. I don't know how they felt about it. I mean, I suspect they liked it. I mean, obviously, I mean, it's sort of like if you go to Doctor Who, did they really, they really genuinely thought season 12 was going to be, season 11, 12 were going to be fantastic. This is, you know,
well,
so I don't know.
You know, I think they were like, season 11 will be like a bit of an experiment, but they were really confident about season 12. They were really confident.
Yeah, I know. I just mean some directors and some producers and the people involved. It seems like, you know, like this show, I'm sure they thought well, you had mentioned, what's his name? The guy who said he wasn't sure. You know,
yeah,
he didn't know if he saw a real show here, but you know, what the hell. But yeah, I know Chibnall thought he obviously thought not to go in that direction, but he obviously thought Jodie Whittaker was brilliant. They're all brilliant. Everyone's brilliant. This is a brilliant show. Everything's just brilliant. So they're all going to love it. But yeah, I think they thought that I don't know if they thought it would be as big as it is, though. I really don't.
I don't think that.
Because I know in the case of Sopranos, they really didn't think that was because they didn't have good look. I mean, the actors weren't necessarily models. You know, I mean, we're dealing with actors that this isn't that you're not showcasing people who would be on a fashion runway.
It didn't really blow up till season 3, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, at some point that show just skyrocketed. You know.
Yeah, I think it was like season 3 is when it went crazy.
And I remember reading some interviews with some of the people involved in the production and the direction, and they were really, you know, they were happy, but they just, you know, they were being told that the show wouldn't, you know, this isn't going to succeed because you don't have, I mean, your cast is not good looking enough or whatever, you know.
Yeah, there's certainly a much more realistic cast.
Yeah. So, you know, they kind of defied the tradition, the practical traditional view of what you need for a show to be popular.
Right. Especially, when was it? It was 2004, 2008. I can't remember.
I'd have to look it up.
I don't know. But, are you watching Better Call Saul as well or not?
That's one that I think Bluebonnet's really, she's up on that one. I love what's that dude's name? Bob Odenkirk. Isn't it Odenkirk?
Yeah, Bob. Whatever.
Bob
Odenkirk.
Bob
Odenkirk. Yeah.
Love the guy. Great. I mean, that guy was funny in Mr. Show. Love the show. Or love him. I haven't had a chance to. I mean, I've seen a few episodes. I can't say I'm an avid watcher of the show.
It's fine. Yeah. Honestly, I think it was only this season that it really started hitting its stride. But really? You had an interesting thing because when I was watching the pilot, Hank's on the news after he did a bust and got $700,000. So that was part of a whole thing on Better Call Saul that Hank was in like 2 episodes ago. He was busting this guy and he got $700,000, but it was actually it wasn't good at all. They should have got like millions and millions.
Yeah,
you know, but they got the. Because he had to put a good face in it. So it's like interesting. If that's the same bust, it's interesting seeing them both like sing together.
Yeah. But no, I never, I mean, I think I saw a few episodes in, but I never really finished.
Honestly, it was only, what was it on season 5? It's only this season that it's really, really come together.
Okay.
It's only this season that it's like really hit the heights of Breaking Bad.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll, you know, do you have to have the backstory of all the previous series to jump in?
No. I mean, you kind of have to know where Breaking Bad finished up, so you know his like
Okay.
Because it starts off at the beginning of each season of Better Call Saul. You see, like, you get like a 5-minute scene of where he is in the present day, and that's always in black and white, and it's kind of sad compared to where he is. I mean, I guess you can see it and knowing, what's going to happen.
Okay. Well, I may jump in on this season just to see what's going on.
Oh no, don't jump in on this season.
Not this one, no.
You've got to start at the beginning, otherwise you're going to be totally lost.
Well, I think I've got the debut episode and a few episodes in, and Blue Bonnet. I've watched some with her, skipped around, whatever episode she's on. I've sat down and tuned in, so I've kind of skipped around. I have an idea, his brother is this dude who's got some problems. I think that's his brother, isn't it?
With brother. Oh yeah,
the guy who's allergic to electricity.
Oh yes.
Or all the electromagnetic allergies he's got.
Right. Yeah. Well. Yeah. That's when it's dealing with that. I think it really was at its weakest. He now we're at season 5. He's one step away from being the sleazy Saul. Well, actually, he's become that this season.
All right.
And he's been, but right, where he is back then is a little bit more earnest.
Okay. So it's taken a little while to get him back up to to where
it took
he was.
It's literally 5 seasons.
Okay. Okay.
5 seasons, and it's only because it's only when Saul becomes more of a secondary character, and they bring in the whole cartel drug war thing going on, and Gus Fring and all the stuff that's going on there.
Well, are they supposed to bring in? Is Bryan Cranston supposed to come in? Do you know? I mean, is he coming in?
I don't know. He was in the El Camino movie, the Breaking Bad movie, El Camino.
Yeah.
So was in that for a second. Yeah, Bryan Cranston's best Breaking Bad, since he became big, appearance was at a Comic-Con one year when he wore a Bryan Cranston mask. Have you ever seen that?
No.
So he had this Heisenberg, this incredible rubber mask that he put on, and underneath it was him. It was Bryan Cranston.
Wait, I think I did see that. I think I did.
So it was
see that.
he was bald in the mask. I guess it's incredible. They were really was.
He pulled that off when he was sitting at the table, didn't he?
Yeah, I believe when he went up to the desk. Yeah, it was really funny. It was really funny.
By the way, have you ever been to Comic-Con?
Yeah, I went. I'll tell you the year I went. It was before it got huge. It was when I saw the first footage of Iron Man. So whatever year that was.
So that's been a while.
And I was everybody there was like, "Wow, that looks good."
Yeah.
But there was no 9-hour lines. I wouldn't line up for anything. I'm just I'm going in now. Just you go and you sit down and you watch.
What was just out of curiosity, so you just went, you had an opportunity to go, and what was the thing that you kind of went to when you were looking to go for? Or you just walked around?
I was eager to break in. I still am eager to break into comics.
Okay.
But yeah. So I went that year, and it actually things went pretty well. But then I had a bunch of kids, and I got waylaid with that.
That'll do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, with this episode, not to get, I didn't want to get too, because I know I'm asking some distracting questions, but with this debut episode, though, I think you're right. Though I think they really did. They had a real good hook, and like you said, they hit the nail on the head in so many ways with this first episode that you had to tune in to find out. To find out kind of where it goes.
It brings you right back, absolutely. And I wanted to watch the next episode. But the interesting thing is that when I was watching it, I was like, it's you see how good it's going to get, but you're so far away from that.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to take time for it to. I mean, not time. I think by the time you leave the first episode, his wife doesn't know he has cancer yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it's like you see you're in such an early stage. But the best part is the making crystal meth. It's always fun watching them make crystal meth, and it comes out like the best crystal meth. That's just fun. I enjoy watching that. The best. Was it Aaron Paul as well? I don't think they had any clue he was going to be as good as he was.
And
he was fantastic.
For me, I enjoyed the aspect of here you have a guy who knows chemistry, who can make this awesome meth.
Right?
He's the Iron Chef as Aaron Paul
Yeah,
put
exactly.
it.
Yeah.
And here's a guy who knows how to do it, and that was an interesting aspect. That this master. Well, I don't know if he's a master, but anyway, this teacher who's a chemist, who I guess in meth circles would have been a master. The master Jedi. And to see him cook up a batch and everybody think it's the greatest thing, I thought that was interesting. That was a really cool.
Yeah, that was good. But I think their whole partnership was really perfect as well. The whole Aaron Paul's reaction when he finally worked out what Walter White was there for. He thought he was there to save him. And when he said no, I want to get into it. and it's interesting when you go back because there's so many things you don't know that when I think in the second or third season they go back and they fit in, you see a flip side of the story that you didn't see. So it's interesting because now this is my second time going through it. Mm-hmm. I always prefer going through shows. I don't think you really get to know a show until you've seen it 2 or 3 times. Battlestar Galactica is because you're just on your first viewing, you're just taking it in, going wow, and you're really enjoying it. You don't really get to look at it and study it until the second time when you're not distracted by the revelations. Right.
Yeah. There's little details that you can miss,
right.
that you overlook because you are kind of absorbing all the broad strokes. I agree. But yeah, I mean, I thought, like I said, you made a lot of good points. I mean, I think the setup for the show. Oh, there he is. Hey, Bowelstrek.
Hello,
How
everyone.
You doing?
Sorry for the delay. I may be in and out of this one. I'm dealing with a
No
couple
problem.
million things at once. So how is everyone on this fine day?
I am good, but I have noticed 2 things since this whole insanity has been going down. One, I can't remember the days of the week at all. I have no idea what day it is. And my life isn't that different. I didn't go out much before. I still don't go out much. And so that's the first thing. And the second thing is, I totally forgot the second thing. The second thing is, it was Bowelstrek was saying, I'm much busier. I find I'm stressing out. I got more things to do.
Wow.
Are you guys finding that a similar experience?
Well, I'm probably getting called back into work under emergency legislation, so my life is about to go back to normal.
Oh, okay, that's crazy.
That's interesting.
Yep.
Wow.
Okay. I don't want to say it on the stream, but
no, I don't blame you. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the where I work, we've been declared essential, so I will be.
Was it Games Workshop?
Hmm?
You work in Games Workshop?
I work in a sure, yeah.
Is it Games Workshop? Was this one place that wouldn't close because they said they were essential?
GameStop.
Oh, GameStop.
Oh,
GameStop.
Yeah, he's working at GameStop.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm selling video. No, if I worked for GameStop, I would have told them to go do various things with themselves last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Essential services. Anyway, when we were just talking, this is the first time I've seen the pilot for. I think since it came out. Have you watched it recently?
Yeah, I tend to watch this show all the way through, probably about once a year.
Yeah, I'm like that with Mad Men, and to a little lesser extent Battlestar Galactica. This is my first time I've gone through Breaking Bad a second time.
Well, the way that I watched the show is a little bit different because I didn't actually watch Breaking Bad while it was on, mainly because I didn't want to pay the small fortune it cost for our premium tier streaming service. So I watched, I got a hold of season 1. I think it was April, or around May 2014. Like, well, okay, I keep hearing about the show, so I'll watch it. So watched it. I think I watched the entire first season over the course of a day.
Well, you can because it's 7 episodes, which is great.
Yeah. Well, I ended up watching the entire series all the way through in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, I hear that. I totally hear that.
The first thing that struck me is, holy crap, this is Hal from Malcolm in the Middle. So that's the first thing that struck me. I'm like, my God, Malcolm's dad is nuts. the first episode, well, as far as I know, was shot separately as the pilot. But you can't help but feel for this guy, and I like the way they start up. I'm like, okay, he's half naked, he's filming things, stuff is going bad. Then they go backwards, and then we just like, wow, you're having the worst day ever.
The worst day of the worst life.
On his birthday.
On his birthday.
50th birthday.
Starts off with veggie bacon. Starts off with veggie bacon and ends with a hand job. It's a weird day.
Yeah, that was a strange scene. Well, did you guys see the Malcolm in the Middle episode, which was they kind of, after Breaking Bad ended, they did the Malcolm in the Middle ending where it's Hal and
right, he's in witness protection, right, or something like that.
Well, it's Hal, and the whole thing was a dream. And then he starts doing the things to Lois that he was doing to Skylar, and right. Lois is having none of it. It's actually it's funny. It's worth watching.
Oh, check it out.
But yeah, so I would say that this is my favorite shows, as I've always said, are Doctor Who, classic Doctor Who, and classic Star Trek. But I still think that this is the best show ever made. And by that I mean, it's the one
I
show
hear what you're saying. I do hear what you're saying.
Yeah, it didn't degrade in quality. It had a chance of being overtaken by Game of Thrones, but without going into it, that's no longer the case.
They pooped the bed. It's really incredible, isn't it?
Oh, they didn't just poop the bed; it was explosive.
Yeah, it's really incredible how much I don't care about Game of Thrones.
No, we've all forgotten about it,
and I so cared about it. Yeah, it's like wow.
Well, what makes Breaking Bad fascinating is really the character study in Walter White, where over the course of 5, well, really 6, but technically 5 seasons, we watch, and Vince Gilligan said this when he originally planned the show, we were going to watch one character type turn into a completely different character type. And in the first episode, I do see images of Hal, and then near the end, it's like, oh my God, this guy is Satan.
All right.
Now, for me, Rabbi and I were talking about this. I asked Rabbi what the standout moments are in the show were for him, and of course, for me, there were a couple. They weren't major scenes or anything. They were really kind of trivial things, but to me, they stood out, and they just were icing on the cake for the episode, and they kind of stood out to me. Do you have any standout moments in this episode that really kind of just were the icing on the cake for you? And like I said, they don't have to be huge. They could be trivial.
So in the pilot,
yeah,
I always liked the school scene where we are introduced to how badly Walt's life sucks.
Yes.
So the kids ignoring him, and then you've got the scene later on when they meet him at the car wash.
That's terrible.
And then
that's the most soul-destroying, crushing thing you can imagine.
Well, then there's Skylar gets mad at him because he bought some paper at Staples, and I'm like, damn, dude. I'm like, damn, dude. We don't use that credit card. That's the emergency credit card. So right off the bat, you learn to dislike Skylar. So you have Walt, and you have to feel bad for Walt because he's working his teaching job, which is, well, teaching job. Then he's working at a car wash for an asshole. But I'm the whole time I'm thinking, okay, so Skylar is pregnant or in the early stages of pregnancy, but I'm like, so we learn later on that Skylar hasn't worked in 4 years. I'm like, okay, so you're making your poor husband work these 2 jobs. Now, yes, they do have a disabled son.
I forgot about that.
But their disabled son.
I totally forgot about that. They worked for 4 years.
No, she hasn't done anything. So she's making Walt work 2 jobs. And they do have a disabled son, but he's at school with Walt during the day. So I noticed that right away. I'm like, wow, you're a word that I won't say. So,
just a stay-at-home wife.
Yeah, I took an instant disliking to Skylar, and she didn't redeem herself throughout the course of the show. But there was that. And then there's the scene where Walt is told that he has lung cancer. And just the reaction, it's like, you have mustard on your shirt.
Right, exactly. We were just talking about that.
That was the scene. That was the scene that that really, I don't know, for me, that was one of the highlights of the show for me. And the other scene, maybe you would appreciate the one, like you said, he got fired, or no, he quit at the car wash. And, when he's talking to the asshole that he's working for and basically telling him off, F you and F your eyebrows. And to me, they could have put that in the trailer. If they had a Red Band trailer, if they could have thrown that in, that would have been perfect.
I'm looking up that actor now to find out what his eyebrows look like in real life.
I don't think those were his real eyebrows.
But we're trying to work out if it was an ad lib or if it was...
if he said that on the fly, if he made that up, or if that was just...
actually, I would say it was probably on the fly. Bryan Cranston is actually known for doing that. Well, he's one of the greatest actors of our time. So yeah, a lot of the lines that he threw in were just, he'd throw them in on the spot. And he did the same thing in Malcolm in the Middle. So I don't know, but the show shifts from being a dark comedy to being your worst nightmare. And just over the course of the first 2 episodes, you just see Walt dig himself in deeper and deeper. And it's like, my God. And it's I think the only show that I've watched, except for maybe The British Office, it's the only show where you're completely tense while watching it. It's like,
yes, exactly.
It's an exercise in blood pressure. And then you just get so locked into the narrative. And you're watching him go through this, and maybe those are real.
Yeah, look at them.
Oh, Marius Stan. I know I've seen him in other things.
Yeah, they look like they're real to me. See if I can...
Okay, dude, I'm sorry I made fun of your eyebrows.
Wow.
Yeah, I bet it was an ad lib.
So they didn't write that into the script, and he just picked on his eyebrows impromptu.
I would say it's very likely, because that's how they kind of did it.
That's how they roll, baby.
Okay. As long as he can take the heat, that's fine.
That's so funny.
And little known fact, Bryan Cranston actually was cast because of an episode that Vince Gilligan had, I believe, written and directed of The X-Files in 1998. The episode called Drive, where they have to drive, or Cranston's head is going to blow up. So that was 10 years before. That was 1998. So that was 10 years before they started shooting, or they started casting Breaking Bad. And apparently Bryan Cranston was the only one that was really in consideration.
That's
interesting. Yeah. Well, if they hadn't cast Bryan Cranston, I hadn't really thought of any other alternate.
I mean, you need a great. I mean, like Al Pacino's about the only person you can really go to, I think.
Not really.
I mean, who else could you get?
Well, you have to. You need to have an actor who has the best range possible. So with Walter White, actually even in the final season, but Walter White, you have to be able to portray that humanity, whereas this is somebody who was initially doing this to help his family because he was going to die. I don't know if Al Pacino could have played that as well, even in his younger years.
He would have gotten the later. Caricature down. But...
what's it? I have to interrupt this podcast. You just came across, which I think Bowelstrek. If you haven't heard it, I think you'll find this amusing. That CBS All Access are now offering a new tier because the ratings are so low on Picard. Their new tier is free. They're giving it away.
The whole
no,
it's a fire sale. That's hilarious.
Pay me to put that garbage app on my TV, CBS.
I can't believe it. Isn't that just waving a white flag and saying, "Yeah, we're done"? I think it's for like a month. The next month it's free.
Oh, okay.
They tried that, I think, shortly before or between season 1 and 2 of STD, and they had a free weekend, and literally it was in the double digits as to who actually took them up on that.
Yeah, I know. Oh my god.
You know why I think they might be doing that though?
They're desperate and losers.
No, it's because of because a lot of people are home right now.
Yeah, exactly. But still, No one's interested in your show, CBS. Nobody cares. You know what people would have watched? An Axanar. They would have watched that. They would have watched Star Trek Continues.
I love Star Trek Continues. I'm still bitter about that. They took away the best Star Trek we've had since 2005 and canceled it so we can get this crap.
If they had any sense, they would commission both an Axanar and Continues for like a 12 episodes. They could do it for half the price of one episode of Picard.
Yep.
Probably a quarter, and it would give them so much goodwill.
No, they don't believe in that.
And it's just a great. Yeah, I really like. I love the things they brought into Star Trek Continues. Well, the counselor, I think that's a great addition. I think it really works. Yeah, so I think Vic was great as Kirk, and just everything. I think it was a really, really successful.
What would Walter White say? Actually, what as we're talking the first season, one of my favorite scenes is when Walt's son is looking for his new jeans, and you have the jock guys in there, making fun of him, looking for his big boy pants.
Right.
So then Walt just leaves, walks out the back door. So we're like, oh my God, this guy's a wimp. And then comes up behind them and just beats the crap out of the kid. I cheered at that scene.
I kind of knew something was up when he, just by the look on his face. I kind of knew something. I got the feeling he wasn't taking a bow out to the bathroom just so he could get away from the situation. I didn't know what he was going to go get a baseball bat or find some kind of bottle in the back and smack the guy over the head, but I kind of felt something was up.
It's one of the early scenes where you see that Walt really has a dark side. So I think the whole idea is that dark side was always there, but circumstances
brought it out.
Yeah,
you see that. I think 3 times in that part. I wouldn't call when he's quitting his job from Bogdan, as his, like, that's just when it started, because it was just anger. But when it became like what it tipped over is when it became cold and calculating with like a like he knew what was it. So there was that scene when he beat up the kid, right? There's when he thought the police were coming to get him, and he pulls the gun out, and he's like, he's gonna fight, and then he's gonna shoot himself. But like when you see how calculating he is, and the last thing where you see, like, I think you see, what's the name? It's not Walter White, the other one, Heisenberg. Really, is when he's in bed with his wife at the end of the show.
Or at the end of the second part. That's the scene that they mimicked in Malcolm in the Middle. That's why it's worth watching.
I gotta watch that. That's gonna be hilarious.
Lois was not very pleased with Hal poking at her back door. Oh no, it's one of the best Malcolm in the Middle scenes ever. But it's the idea of absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah, exactly. And that's the whole vibe of the show.
Yeah, this is somebody who has nothing to lose and essentially just goes nuts. And,
right.
And Ted's a jerk.
IFT. I like the only other thing I note reason I noticed it because I've seen it before, was when you start seeing the whole thing with Walt's reflection. You see that the more that Heisenberg becomes real, the more you keep seeing things with his reflection. Like, and it's weird that like he's on there's shiny tables he sits at. So you sit there, you see like his reflection and his face at the same time. Have you ever seen this before in Breaking Bad? You have to watch for it. It's really interesting. You'll see his face, and there's some surface that he's reflected into beneath.
Actually, yeah, I did notice that. But I think one thing that's notable as well is they could have turned Walt throughout the show into just the ultimate evil. But throughout this, and even in the last 2 seasons, he still cares about his family. He still cares about his son. He still cares about his baby daughter. So there is this evil brewing, but he's still, that humanity is still there.
Right. Yeah, but I think that whole duality is what drove the show. BluebonnetWhovian, how are you? Oh, I I can see her, but I can't hear you. Hello, JC, are you there? Bowles? Hello?
I'm here. Hello, everyone.
Okay, it looks like it's just what happened? That's the strangest thing. I guess the mic will come on shortly.
Yeah, it's StreamYard is being kind of temperamental lately. Well, it kicked me off my stream,
really?
but no, remember? Yeah, you were there. The one on.
That one, right? Yeah,
because I mentioned that thing, and I'm fairly certain that's why I got shut the F down.
Oh, okay. But surely that thing is kind of mentioned all the time now.
Yeah, I don't know. YouTube hates me.
You were ahead of it. You've been flagged. Fortunately, my channel is small enough.
I'm on a bad list.
Not in any trouble. Well, second, Blue Bonnet, are you there? Hello, JC.
Yeah, we're here. Hang on, just a second.
Oh, we're back.
Yeah, I just heard them for a second. 80 seconds now.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Hello.
Bonjour.
Hello. How is everyone?
We are good. How are you?
Tired, but I'm here.
Well, yeah, we've been over the episode a couple of times, but I'm planning on wrapping up soon. So why don't you? We'll go over the same issues with the same questions with you and see what your impressions are. When was the last time you saw the pilot?
Probably about 4 or 5 years ago.
Right, that's it. Same with me because I watched it again today because of that, and yeah, it really holds up well.
Yeah, it actually. I think I enjoy it better now because I understand that because you've seen it all, and I've forgotten how much his life really sucked.
Yes, that was everyone's overwhelming impression that it was really depressing. That first half hour, definitely.
I think the most depressing scene was at his own birthday party.
Oh God!
The way that Hank treated him, and the way when he did a toast, he took Walter's drink.
Yes.
Yeah. I've forgotten how much I hated Hank.
Oh, you see, here's the thing with Hank. I think it was written for you to hate him, but I think was it Dean Norris, right? Played him.
Yeah.
I think his performance was very personable, and it changed the course of the character.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, he was meant to be more of a dick than he is.
And I think towards the end, you see he's not really, but he just came across as he in the beginning, yeah. But the more it's really funny because as the show goes on, how you feel really bad for Walt, but as the show goes on, you have less and less empathy for Walt and more empathy for Hank, and that type of thing. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, something that what was interesting. If you're watching Better Call Saul, in the pilot of Breaking Bad, the bit where the TV he's on Hank's on the TV during the party, and they're talking about he got a big drug bust of $700,000. I'm pretty sure that was that happened 2 episodes ago in Better Call Saul.
Oh, I'm a little bit behind, but I kind of lost interest.
3 years.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah. I lost interest.
I have to tell you, when you get to season 5, which is the one that just started, it's as good as Breaking Bad was. But you have to wait to get there before it is. The whole stuff with his brother and stuff, I just found kind of boring and irritating.
Does that go away?
Yes, that does definitely go away.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I've seen that. I've seen that does go away, but I mean, and then there's the other part where it's really slow because, I won't reveal it, but yeah, then it's just like, it seems like more like a drama than like a drama, like a soap opera drama. Right.
But I tell you what, once you get to season 5, which is the one we're on now, it's as good, and the reason it's as good is because it's he becomes like a secondary story, and you have this like drug cartel war going on with Gus Fring and Nacho.
Oh yeah,
and,
that's more like that is more like definitely more like.
and it's so much better.
Well, you said he starts becoming more like the Saul, the greasy,
Right.
Saul from.
Season 5. He's that greasy Saul. He doesn't have his office yet.
I've got an interesting thing here from Wikipedia about the casting. So I was slightly wrong, but not entirely. So I'll just read out this paragraph. Breaking Bad creator Vince Gilligan cast Bryan Cranston for the role of Walter White based on having worked with him in Drive, an episode of the science fiction television series The X-Files, on which Gilligan worked as a writer. Cranston played an anti-Semite with a terminal illness who took series co-protagonist Fox Mulder, David Duchovny, hostage. Gilligan said that the character had to be simultaneously loathsome and sympathetic, and that, quote, Bryan alone was the only actor who could do that, who could pull off that trick. And
he already did, didn't he?
I have no idea how he does it. Here's where the funny part comes in. AMC officials, who were initially reluctant with the casting choice, having known Cranston only as the over-the-top character Hal on the comedy series Malcolm in the Middle, approached actors John Cusack and Matthew Broderick about the role.
Ooh,
that would have been so bad.
Bad choice.
So awful. I'm so glad that they didn't do that.
Wow. I mean,
now, you know what? Actually, you know what? I think, honestly, John Cusack would have been good up until, I don't know if he could have played the evil side of Walter White. But that first portion where he's kind of the loser, he could have probably done that fairly well.
Was John Cusack, was he in the movie Grifters?
Yeah.
It was also Gross Point Blank too, which he was good at.
Gross Point Blank, right?
So yeah, he can definitely do. I mean, the Grifters. Actually, I want to see the movie again. But he's very interesting when he's doing not evil, but like duplicitous. Is that the word?
Yeah. Well, in Gross Point Blank, he played a hitman. So I don't know if he could have done like this serious role, because I don't think I've ever seen him play that, but he definitely could have.
When Walter kind of he becomes Heisenberg, like really.
Right. No, but he could have definitely. I think he definitely could have harnessed the original kind of down on his luck, Walter White.
Yeah, but in the end, I think
that's an interesting quote. That's an interesting read that you just.
Has anybody other than me seen that episode of the X-Files? It's from season 6.
I've seen them all.
Yeah. It was one of the first episodes shot after they moved the production to LA.
No's in the chat. No, do you want to come in? I sent the link. Doesn't matter if you don't know anything about it. Just come and say hello. Well, if he pops up, he pops up. Yeah, what's it going to... Sorry, who was saying what? About, I've seen them all. But I don't know. I don't remember seeing it. The X-Files just kind of just erased itself from my memory.
Although it is the best episode in the second worst season of the show. But it is actually, if you like Cranston's performance in Breaking Bad, that one episode is worth watching.
Which season was it?
Season 6. The episode is called Drive. And I believe it was the second episode. What was going on in season 6? It was right after they did the movie between seasons 5 and 6. That's when they moved it to Los Angeles from Vancouver.
Right.
So they were trying to take advantage of sort of the much sunnier backdrop than the constant rain in Vancouver. So the episode itself, Mulder and Scully, this is when they've been removed from the X-Files, so they're just doing regular FBI stuff. And there's this science experiment thing gone horribly wrong, where people's heads or their brains explode and comes out their ears.
I do remember that. Yeah, I do remember that.
And the only way to prevent it is you have to drive. It's either east or west, but you have to drive past 80 miles an hour to avoid the head exploding. So Cranston's character is infected with this. So then Mulder starts to realize, he gets him in the car, and as they're driving, that's the only thing that prevents his head from exploding. So the whole episode, for the most part, is David Duchovny and Bryan Cranston in a car conversing while David Duchovny keeps driving, and then at the end things don't quite work out. But in terms of performances, I think it's by far the best guest performance in the entire run of the X-Files, old and new. So if you only watch X-Files, that's one episode that's worth watching. But it was Cranston's performance in that episode that made Vince Gilligan push to have him cast on Breaking Bad.
Yeah, that makes sense. It totally makes sense. And again, I think that the character that was a real revelation. I don't think they thought it would be as good as he was at all. Was Aaron Paul?
Mhm.
Now,
Yep.
do you know when he was supposed to be killed off? He was supposed to be killed off pretty early on.
I think he was only supposed to do like what 12 episodes originally.
No, less than that. I think he was supposed to be gone before the second season.
Oh, really?
It was like 2 or 3 episodes.
Yeah, he was supposed to be Walt. From what I know, I think he was supposed to be Walt's original enabler when it comes to their new business. But the same thing, Aaron Paul blew everyone away. This show is full of amazing performances across the board. I don't think there's one performer that drops the ball. Even Skylar, who I hate, but Anna Gunn did a brilliant job portraying this woman. But then you're right, at the end, when you get into season 5, you do feel for her, because there's that one scene where Walt comes in, she's smoking again, and she admits that now she's just waiting for him to die. So just brilliant performances.
He blew up her life.
Even John Delancey gives the best performance.
Isn't he wonderful? I love that whole season with the teddy bear, and you have no idea what it is.
Yeah, and then at the end you're like, holy. Now, coincidentally, this, it's kind of outside of the realm of possibility, but the way it all works out is like, holy crap. And I kind of like that, because you have throughout the season just pictures of the teddy bear in the swimming pool. You have no idea what it is until that final episode, and it's like, holy I won't swear on your channel, holy shikes.
Yeah, no, it was really good. I just had a weird thought go through my head. What if they cast Kristen Ritter, who was big in that season, instead of Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor? Would that make it worse or better? I'm like, my head's like,
I think that might actually make it worse.
Yeah, she does very well in Breaking Bad. I only watched maybe 2 episodes of Jessica Jones.
I thought she was way better in Breaking Bad than Jessica Jones.
She couldn't do the Doctor though. That's a whole separate thing, because you need the intensity.
She might be companion level, not Doctor.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The real this is going off topic. The real tragedy with what's the name, Jessica Jones, is the comic book was one of the best comic books ever, and it was so good because it was just like the show, but it was set in the Marvel universe. So like you had all the gritty street stuff going on, but you still saw in the background like Iron Man flying around, stuff like that. In Jessica Jones, they didn't like acknowledge they were superheroes at all. They were like people just had weird powers for no reason. It was its own little
universe.
Which is I just feel it was a shame, because that element made that comic book one of the best comic books. Oh, here's Noel here, the best comic book ever. No, how you doing, mate?
Hey, buddy.
Hello, guys. Sorry, we sleep patterns all over the place. It's 9:15 in the evening here, and I literally go up at 8 o'clock.
Right. Well, I think we're all messing. Like this thing is really messing us up in a lot of that. I have a lot of trouble remembering what day it is.
I know.
I can tell you, because I still have to go to work.
Hey, you and me both. Starting later this week.
We're essential.
I'm telling you, it keeps you grounded.
Oh.
It's like, you don't know how much you miss, like, I don't know, being able to go at your house.
I wouldn't miss work. I really no. I'm telling you. Yeah.
Well, here everybody should be getting off work soon, so it should be grand.
Oh no, I won't be getting off.
No,
yeah, Bowelstrek here is also a worker now.
I'm essential. I have to go in. So.
You are essential. Shit.
I was just declared.
Me too as well today. So.
I'm going back into the fray.
I don't usually pray, but I'll get out the prayer book. I don't usually pray, but I'll get out the prayer book and start praying for you.
Did you just wake up, Noel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds a little sleepy. And now that Noel's here, I'll be right back.
Right. Well, where are we in the conversation anyway? And I'll try. Like,
we were going to ask you what your favorite part of the first episode was.
Right. I think sitting in the doctor's room.
Everyone said that. Everyone's got to say it.
Oh, with the mustard.
Part.
The mustard. Yeah.
That was the best scene. Yeah.
No, I'll tell you what my favorite scene is when he tells the his boss off at the car wash.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's good as well. But I do like when he gets told, because right there and then, like he knows his life is, and it hits him, and then you can see the desperation.
Right. Well, yeah. I think one of my favorite scenes, and I hadn't really thought about it, is Aaron Paul's reaction when he finally works out what Walter White's asking him.
Yeah.
Earlier. He's like, "Oh, this is what you want to do."
Yeah. I forgot. But see, it's been ages since I've seen that episode. I only got to the second last series, guys, so I'll have to watch the last series to see how it actually goes. I know they have the movie. I didn't watch the movie because obviously
you wouldn't want to do that.
The movie takes place after the series.
Let's finish the series first. So
yeah, it takes place directly after the series.
All right. Well, then that's okay. Yeah. It's a good series, though. I have to say, it was one of the best series on TV at the time. And I mean, you look at the television we had. I was a big fan of Lost. I don't know about you guys.
I watched it. I was very angry at the end of that.
That was the biggest show, I reckon, that was on TV. Well, it wasn't on TV. It was finished a few years, but that was the biggest show that I thought we had in years. And then Breaking Bad came along. And
were you happy?
I don't know about you, though, in America, what it was like in America, but over here in Ireland, Breaking Bad kind of came in under the radar.
And then in America as well. It was like
it was like a sleeper. It was like a sleeper hit.
Yeah, it was. They didn't even
like season 3 when it got big.
I don't know now because I haven't actually went back to the background to see when this was first being released and the people were talking about it. But it looked to me, by just looking at the way it came in under the radar, that these guys probably didn't think that this show was going to be any sort of success, and they just chanced their arm with it and hoped that it would work. And
exactly.
What was the reason why? What was the reason? I mean, I'll ask you, Rabbi. What was the reason why you even watched the show in the first place? What caught your attention with the trailer?
All the media that was just very, very saying how great it was. I think I came into it around season 3 as well. There was just a lot, but that was around the time when I still had a subscription to Entertainment Weekly. So I was really into it. Because it was still like a good 10 years, like 7 years before like the woke apocalypse came. That devastated everything in its wake. So I was really into media at the time.
So what in particular though, when you saw the trailer, you thought this would be good? What was there something about the trailer or about that?
No, it wasn't the trailer. It had a very good buzz. Had a very strong buzz. And I watched the pilot episode, and if you watch the pilot, you're sucked in.
Yeah.
It was just the buzz surrounding the show.
Right. Everything is a great thing. And we're like, well, I guess I got to check it out then.
I mean, the premise of someone in cancer and the whole thing, he's a chemistry teacher and he's going to start making meth to basically, the whole premise is like that right there. Like, okay, that got my attention. I've got to watch the show.
We have a little guest with us, we do, don't we, Ted?
Ted, how's he doing?
I'm watching something on the telly, so I'm in the bedroom, so I don't. Say hello, Teddy. Say hello to everybody.
Hello, Teddy.
Hello, Teddy.
You could probably hear him. He's a little lunatic.
Yeah.
Woof. That's hello and dog.
Yes. Yes.
What was I going to say? Aren't excited. Did I miss anything today? Did anything exciting happen today?
No, the world's still ending.
Right. Oh, did you just hear what BBC? I know this is going off subject a little bit, but
That's
you see,
fine.
BBC America has jumped on the bandwagon.
I did. I put that in one of my videos.
They want us to do a whole Series 12 rewatch. And I'm like,
exactly.
Yeah, whatever. Oh my God, no.
How much can you demonstrate you don't understand? like what your property is. Like, how much do you demonstrate your lack of understanding?
They obviously don't, because
it's breathtaking.
I know, because the only reason why everybody sat down and watched Day of the Doctor in the first place, because it was the best bit of Who that they've gotten in 2 bloody years, for God's sake.
Exactly.
That's all it was. And wait till you see Rose now. Russell is going to do his little intro trailer as well. See, this is what they see in the reaction to this, right? And the way they've probably looked at it is, well, maybe we put the series on too early now. Maybe this is the excuse.
Are they going with that now?
Do they think replaying it, people are going to forget? Like, or they think people are that stupid? Like, yeah, it's let's replay it. Maybe we'll get a better reaction.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Do you know what I noticed today as well? As soon as I go on Twitter, what happened? Do you know the J-bots that said, you are leaving Twitter and you weren't coming back? Do you remember? Yeah, there was a few J-bots that made big, huge announcements. We're leaving, and everybody said goodbye. Well, they're back now. So I wrote one of them. I says, you back? You have to climbing out of the hole that you have to be in. You out now, because all of a sudden there's a talk about rewatch Series 12. You do know nobody's going to watch, don't you? And I even said to BBC America, you do know nobody is going to watch this. You do know that the only reason why everybody watched the other ones because it was actually felt like Doctor Who. They haven't had that feeling for 2 years. Sure, I'm at the being looking at it. People have been putting up threads, the J-bots. Will you rewatch Series 12? And there's like, I have no desire, even from people that were watching I have no desire to watch Series 12, rewatch Series 12.
Nobody does.
That's the thing. Some fella summed it up nicely. I think it was the Men of Who, and he summed it up perfectly. He says, I watch Series 12, but I have no desire to watch Series 12. And that's what that's the thing that I feel about Chris Chibnall's era. You don't feel like you want to go back and watch another, like there's no episode, even if you are half decent, there's no episode there that you can actually say, hang on, I'm going to watch that episode again. Is there?
They must think that with all of this, everyone being home, that this would be a good time. With all this rewatch madness, that they're going to try to sneak their way into this.
They think that
we're not stupid.
Quarantine, that'll do it.
Yeah, this will just make you want to go kill yourself.
No, but hang on, right? Even if it was to improve on its numbers, right? Even if it was to improve on its numbers, when it actually officially aired, it didn't do too well, right? So as far as I'm concerned, they're the results they should be looking at. It doesn't matter anyway, even if they do rewatch, it's not going to get enough people to trend that on Twitter the way the Day the Doctor trended. It trended in 4 spaces. Wait till you see. When as if happens, all the negative hashtags will come up. The RIP Doctor Who or Hartnell Forced will pop up again. As if
life isn't depressing enough right now. And they want to come sneak in there, try to shove their garbage.
Well, we'll just do our own rewatches on YouTube that people will be a part of.
Exactly. Yep. But here's the thing. Here's my ideal rewatch TV right now. If I was to actually go say, right, this is what I'm going to watch. It'd be Lost, Breaking Bad again, because I'd have to watch that all the way through again. That's what I'm going to start doing now for these reviews. It's been a couple of years since I've seen Series 1. So while we're doing these reviews, I'll watch the second episode now, so we're up to date. So I know, because it's been ages since I've seen it.
Here's the thing. I was thinking when I was watching episode 1, I just wanted to go through the whole first season.
See, so that's the thing. Yeah, I did that because this is my story. This is how I found out about it. I found out about this show through my little brother. My little brother was the one that actually watched the 4th series of Breaking Bad. I didn't even know this show existed, right? Then he was telling me everything about it. And then I said, it's on TG Carter. Nobody watches TG Carter in Ireland. He goes, yeah, but it's one of those shows, just come in, like everybody's saying, under the radar, blah, but you have to watch it. We ended up watching the 4th episode. And I think we went in the next day, got it on DVD because it was out. And we watched it. We watched the whole
pretty much what I did.
And then my sister, then a couple of years later, she got me a few of the box sets then for Christmas. So I mean, Lost, Breaking Bad for me, a bit of 80s nostalgia. So the A-Team for me as well.
Oh, the A-Team, there you're talking.
Back there in.
House is streaming on if you're looking for something to watch. House is streaming on Prime. just put off the last season, and that's close to not entirely Breaking Bad, but very close.
If you're going to watch anything with Hugh Laurie in it, you got to check out Avenue 5. That's freaking hilarious.
I've heard of that show.
It's so good. I just finished watching it.
The trailers on Sky One.
It's so worth watching.
I know, but it just looks very cheesy or something. It's like as if they're trying to rip off the Orville now.
It's basically it's different. It's supposed to look cheesy though.
Is it?
It looked entertaining though. It really
it's very funny.
I like Hugh Laurie in House. I think he's great in House.
Okay, if you liked Veep or The Thick of It, it's by those people who did that.
All right. Well, I do like The Thick of It. Yeah,
I think it'd be worth it. Well, Noel, and question for Noel. So have you been able to convince Cheryl to watch Breaking Bad yet?
Are you joking? That's not going to happen. Sure. The only way she will watch Breaking Bad is if I submit to watching one of her girly shows. And she
don't do it. No,
hang on. She wants me to watch The Handmaid's Tale. So
no.
Look. Just do it so she'll watch it. Because once she starts watching the Breaking Bad, she will be hooked. I promise.
Yeah, but hang on. Don't be so sure. You know what I mean? It works both ways here, Blue Bonnet. She gets hooked onto that, and I get hooked onto that. And that's my dirty little secret.
You don't want that to happen.
But you don't tell people that. You just keep that. That's why it's a dirty little secret.
It will take your channel to strange places.
Bowelstrek, I think Bowelstrek was the one that came on the channel and had that news about what is it? CBS All Access has a month of.
No, that was Rabbi.
Yeah, they're giving.
Oh, okay, it was Rabbi.
Ted,
a free what?
Teddy.
He jumped up on the bed and he hurt himself. You're all right, buddy.
This is what I was going to say. Instead of going episode by episode, why don't we just do a rewatch of the first season? And when we're all done with that, we'll get together and we'll do
that sounds like a good idea.
Because just watching one episode, I was like, I felt like I got nothing, you know?
Yeah, I wanted to watch the other one and the next one and the next one.
Do these type of things. Yeah, I think we should do a whole when it comes to Breaking Bad. Yeah, because the first episode is great. It's great pilot, and you do get a lot of info. But the second,
but I wanted to go so much more. You know?
Yeah.
And that reminds me, but while we're all gathered together, Rabbi and I kind of discussed this just real quick.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Are we all in on the Picard stream to round that out and finish that up?
Yeah, definitely this week.
Okay, so let's say what day should we do? Do you want to do it Saturday or another day? And we do one, and we'll do episodes 8, 9, and 10. We'll just we'll finish it. And so thank God we never have to talk about it again. Because it's not being renewed. And who cares? CBS All Access is gone. The Kurtzman's gone. It's like, forget it. They don't have the money for it. We might see Discovery Season 3. Who knows?
Come here. If they had any sense, they just quit now while they're not even ahead anymore.
Okay, the thing I found truly amazing is they released a physical disc of the short treks.
Oh, for God's sake!
I was like, "What the hell?" Like the worst, that's the worst offense of Star Trek ever.
It'd be interesting to see how many copies it sells, though, won't it?
Yes,
3.
Probably 3 people in the whole world.
Kibble Smith will be 1.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, Kibble Smith definitely will be 1. Yeah, how was his Warriors trailer doing? I heard
it's doing wonderfully.
Well, given that the comic book industry just ended, you know, like they won't be able to ship it anywhere. There's no stores to sell it in, and there's no distribution system. It's over. The direct market comic system industry is over. And I think it's over permanently because. Buying comics is I think for a lot of the audience that's left is habitual, and now that habit's gone. That habit is gone. It ain't coming back.
Poor comics are gone, Ted. Everything.
Was it? I want to point everybody to the chat. Lee Anthony Davis. he has been diagnosed with being with not being well with the current situation.
Oh.
So,
Lee, I'm so sorry, man.
Sorry to hear that, Lee. Get well soon, pal.
but he says he's doing fine. But I
Yeah.
just thought we should all know, Lee. Our thoughts are with you.
Here, do you remember that RTE or that Irish reporter that I was telling you about, or the Irish presenter that was doing the or showing the shed because she had put herself into self-isolation? Well, it turns out she also has the thing that we won't discuss. She did a video last night. She said some interesting things though. She says that one of the symptoms that everybody talks about, which I think we could talk about the symptoms, which was the high temperature. She didn't get a high temperature though, so it varies with different people. So just because you don't have a high temperature either, I need to throw that out there because she actually said it herself. She didn't have a high temperature, but she got tested, and the 2 tests came back positive. So she also as well. So just be, as I said, look, there's idiots out there. I mean, someone put up a video earlier on. Someone who went to Asda the weekend, and then she went to the beach. Then there's people not taking this seriously, right? If you're out there out and about and you don't need to be out and about, right? What you're basically doing is you're helping spreading this thing, right? And then you're going to be responsible, whether you like it or not, for people passing away. That's the reality of the situation. And people that don't take this seriously need to start taking this seriously, right? The only way we combat this is doing what the health experts told us to do. So stop being selfish little twats and do what your health expert says.
Yeah.
Well, you're making things worse for older people, and you're making things worse for those of us that have to be out there in this.
Yes.
Right. I have to go to work every day, so
exactly. And people that don't get mentioned that often is supermarket workers as well.
Yep.
Remember,
You're right. You're totally right. Yeah.
Well, right. So I mean, think of those people as well, and the doctors and nurses that are trying to actually bleed and combat this and save our lives. Jesus Christ, people, what he is all at.
Yeah.
Well, earlier today, I was going into a store, and they actually had security out, just screening people as they went in and seeing if they'd been out of the country and if they'd had symptoms. And some young fellows like, well, no, why do we care? I don't care. I'll be fine. And said various things. And then I happened to be in the vicinity and said various things back to them. You know what? You guys, you could be committing murder.
Exactly.
You could kill somebody.
Listen, and you know what? And I do wish this guy well, right? Even though he was a bit of an idiot. But do you remember that video that was circulating of the guy that was actually licking the toilet seat?
Oh yeah, he's in hospital now.
He ended up with it. He's in hospital now. So I just look at, as I said though, I do wish him the best, and get well soon. But I hope that's a lesson to any other little idiot like him out there that's doing things like that. That this is a serious threat, and just because you're young, remember they said there's a higher mortality rate amongst people with underlying medical conditions and the older generation. But that doesn't mean for 1 second that you are immune, right? This can kill you just as much as it can kill us, right? So cop onto ourselves. And seriously, I have to go out tomorrow because it's essential. I have to go out tomorrow to collect money, so I've no choice tomorrow. I can guarantee it, right? There'll be nobody in Dublin like there was last Wednesday, and I'll take footage for you again and show you, right?
Yeah, I'll be interested to see.
I guarantee you there'll be triple the queue outside that post office tomorrow when I go there. Wait and you see, right? Nobody's taking it seriously, and the government. And look at then there's all this, right? And the British are saying, British people are saying, oh, we can't have this because you can't really make us stay in our houses. What's the legal implications? Forget about the legal implications. As Bowelstrek has said, you're actually going out there, you're helping spreading this virus.
Oh, no, there's going to be legal implications. In Canada, there will be legal implications. We're going to find out about that by the end of the week. If you're having parties, and I've seen a lot of that all over the city with these young kids that are off university, $1,000 fine.
Good.
Yeah, it sounds about right. That definitely sounds right.
But I'd even go forward and say prison time. I'm sorry.
That's somebody
You're
actually
committing a crime right now. If the health experts say that this is spreading like wildfire and they've given us advice and you fail to take that advice properly, you're committing a crime. I'm sorry. This is how strict we have to be. And I know it sounds a bit like a dictatorship here, but
no, you're right. You're right.
Potentially millions of people could die. Potentially, right? So how do we stem that? You stop people from leaving their homes. You only let them out when they need to get food and essentials. That's it.
Right.
But you limit the time that people are allowed to stay out as well until this crisis blows over. I know people are all talking about their human rights and the Americans are talking about the Constitution. Forget about that. We're in a bleeding situation here. Everything goes out the window. This is unprecedented right now, right? There's no point. Everybody, you see the politicians as well, right? They say they won't play politics with it, but they're playing politics with it.
Definitely in America they are. That's crazy what's going on there.
And user job is supposed to keep us safe. So keep us safe.
Yeah. Although we
fair play to this. Do you know what? You deserve all. And when you are and after this is all blown over, all of us should do something for a doctor or a nurse. Just go to a hospital, give a nurse a bunch of flowers or something, or a doctor something. Do you know what I mean? Seriously, man, I'm not messing. These people deserve our bloody gratitude. And I tell you, we get out of this, they deserve everything they get after it, and they definitely deserve a pay rise after this. And if they don't get one, it's an absolute disgrace.
Yeah, I think they should get hazard pay. I really do.
Oh yeah,
anybody that's working right now needs hazard pay.
Yeah. I'm not getting it. So.
No, me neither.
Right now, that has to go out there into the streets now is putting themselves in danger. Should get hazard pay, and every single one of you should. It's a bloody disgrace. I tell you, listen. It doesn't matter. You know what? We all know who the blame is for this, right? You know, there's conspiracy theories out there trying to not blame those people. But we know who's responsible for this, right? Questions have to be asked afterwards when all this.
Yeah. Well, again, I mean, that's where I think things are really going to kick off, because like everywhere in the world is in debt to them, and they may say, "Well, we're not going to pay your debt. We're going to renege on the debt to you." And I don't know what's going to happen when that happens.
Yeah, but do you think that will really happen, though?
Yes. Yeah, I think America is not paying for their was it $20 billion deficit to them. I think they're saying that. I think they're going to say no. We're going to call it a wash.
Well, yeah, Donald Trump in there, I'd well believe it. But all these other leaders around the world, they won't back. They'll back down as soon as China. Shows any sort of force. Those other countries will back down. America won't. That's it. That's the reason why I admire Trump. Is because he won't back down. He doesn't want to be bullied around. And I wish the rest of the world leaders would actually take from his example. China has. This is not the first time that an outbreak has come out of China, right? Okay. So how many outbreaks and how many people have to die before we all start saying, "No, hang on now. Enough is enough."
I think we all agree that their approach to health and safety is not the same. By
the way, guys, they're building the new Titanic for this Australian or New Zealand billionaire. And I was saying, if I had the money, I'd get on. We can get on it now.
Actually, no. Are they finally building the Titanic? I was following that for years.
Yeah, since 2015. Do you remember Bowelstrek? Yeah, he's finally they're finally building it. There's actually photographs and all up. Yeah,
so I got to check that out.
It was supposed to be launching next year, but now with all this stuff now happening now, there's obviously going to be a delay. And by the way, there probably was a delay in the shipyard as well now, so it's probably made him bankrupt.
Well, somebody will pick that up. No, I've got this. This strange fascination with the Titanic. I have an entire shelf in my DVD and Blu-ray library dedicated to every Titanic movie ever made and a ton of documentaries.
I want to ask you, what's your favorite one? I think I already know what your favorite Titanic movie is. So, but go on, what is your favorite Titanic movie?
I would have to say A Day to Remember.
A Night to Remember?
Sorry, did I say A Day to Remember? Yeah, Night to Remember. And also there's a movie it's from the late 70s. It was supposed to be the blockbuster of the summer and it flopped horribly.
Raise the Titanic.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that movie.
Shout Factory put it out a few years ago. I love that film.
I love that. It's a great movie.
That's a deadly move. That's where they're looking for the what's it? Not the Pluton. It's a mad name. Some mad. It's like plutonium, and they think it's in the Titanic. So they raise it up.
Device.
Yeah. We won't tell you how it figures out, but that whole scene, right? And this was a time, obviously, as he said, in the 70s, where they didn't know that the Titanic. Obviously, they found it in 85. They didn't realize then that the Titanic had actually broken in two. So
86.
Oh, 86, sorry. So in this movie, then, like, you actually see the Titanic when it comes up through the water.
I love that scene.
Yeah.
There's the Screen Factory edition. I don't know what they have in the UK, but it is worth picking up just for the behind the scenes stuff alone. It is awesome. I love that film.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I remember when they first discovered the Titanic in '86 with Dr. Ballard. They had a documentary, American Geographic, and I got it on tape. I just remember watching that over and over again. I have no idea why I was so obsessed with it, but I've been obsessed with the Titanic since I was a kid.
Same here. It's actually weird that you bring that up because I bought an Airfix model of the Titanic.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, I'll hang out on your stream while you're doing that.
I'm geared up to do that. I am because I don't want to mess it up. Because, like you, ever since I'm a kid, I've had this fascination with the Titanic and Egyptology as well. Like, I'm fascinated with Egypt and the pharaohs and that, and got to do with them as well, and how they built the pyramids. Because I'm still like, how did they build them? Seriously, Rabbi, how did they build the pyramids?
Walter White did it.
The Jews built them. It was
aliens.
No, it was. We got this whole like recorded history. The Jews built. The Jews invented them for two cities called Ramses.
There's no way that they could have done all that on their own, Rabbi. You know that it was extraterrestrials that came down and helped them assemble those.
There's a tractate in it's called the Talmud, which talks about the logistics of how to. It's the same logistics as they used to build the temple in Jerusalem.
It was like the
according to the. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna make a joke. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, according to the guy with the upside down hair on Ancient Aliens, he doesn't. There's a whole undercurrent of disbelief regarding that Talmud, So anyway, that's where I get my information from.
Yeah.
Speaking of wonders of the world, given that it's Breaking Bad, the Pontiac Aztec.
What?
The Walter White mobile, the Pontiac Aztec.
Oh, right, yes.
The car that he drives.
Oh, he only drives it for a bit, and then he gets a better car in like season 3, doesn't he?
In season 5, he gets a Chrysler 300.
Right.
But
which is the car he blows up?
Well, he doesn't blow up the Aztec. He gives it away.
No, he buys a car for his son, and he has to give it away, and he blows it up.
He bought his son he bought his son 2 Mustangs from what I remember, but the other one he blew up was a Mustang. Then he buys him another one later. But no, the Pontiac Aztec. Maybe I am strange, but I always liked the Pontiac Aztec. Okay. Yeah, and if you look at it, the Pontiac Aztec was ahead of its time because every crossover on the road now looks like the Pontiac Aztec. They've got this little Walter White Pontiac Aztec kit that I actually want to get. It's got like the windshield repair stuff on it, and yeah. And fun fact, Walter White's car was not an actual color of the Pontiac Aztec. It was one that was specially made for the show, and they had 3 of them.
Why did they do that?
Because they thought it looked better on screen. They didn't like the actual colors.
Okay, fine. Okay, so listen, it's getting late from there. Can we go around the panel? I have one wrap-up question. From all of Breaking Bad, what can you think of one moment that you really love? Not just as ever from the entirety of Breaking Bad. So, Scott, do you want to start?
Oh, I'll go with the mustard on the shirt. In all seriousness, because I mean, honestly, I haven't seen all of Breaking Bad, as you know. So I'm going to go with. I actually like the eyebrows. The F you and your eyebrows.
Which we think
that's
is
great. And I know that sounds flippant, but I'm not trying to be. That's actually probably my favorite out of all the episodes that I've seen.
It is a great moment. Bowles, your favorite.
So these might be. This one might be a slight spoiler. But the first scene of season 5, part 2, when it takes place in the future, and Walt is going back to his house.
Yeah, and
after everything has gone to hell. That is my favorite scene in the whole series, because just visually and metaphorically, it represents
see what's happened,
everything he's done to his life. So that is, I think that's one of my favorite scenes of all time.
Yeah,
that's a good scene. Blue Bonnet.
This scene, it kind of sounds like it's kind of gory, but I believe it's in the next episode, the whole bathtub fiasco, because it kind of shows you what you're in for. Like,
it's in the first season, but it's not the next episode.
Yeah, it kind of sets you up like, okay, this is gonna be one crazy
ride.
And I think that's why. And that really, like, okay, now I really have to see what happens.
Oh, I love that scene, and just the way they play it as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
You put it in the bathtub, so then you hear everything just creaking, and they don't move; they just stand there.
Yeah,
and I think that might be one of the most disgusting scenes in TV history until Star Trek Picard.
Yeah, it is. But
then the next episode when they're cleaning it up.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I have one other question, just real quick question. This one I think is interesting. At what point during this premiere episode did you say, okay, at what point were you just like, okay, I mean, this is it. I've got to, at what point were you sucked in?
The mustard scene. No, honestly, the cancer revelation scene for me.
Yeah,
that's what hooked me.
You know, for me, it was the pre-title sequence.
Actually,
are you talking about where it shows them out in the desert and you see, them out there and you don't know what's
right?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I was like, oh, this is going to be interesting.
This is something I haven't seen
the
before.
Pants in the air. You're just like, okay, what?
Yeah,
that sets it all up.
But I agree with Charles. I think the cancer scene for me, because that was the first thing I said actually when I came on. I was half asleep, but yeah, I'd have to agree with that. That's when I was sucked in. I actually thought that scene was amazing. It's just his reaction. And here, what's his name? Bryan Cranston. What a casting choice. I heard briefly to start our conversation when I came in, when you were talking about who else was chosen to actually take this. To be honest with you, I wouldn't have went with John Cusack. To be honest, I think he's
no. It's really lucky they didn't.
And who was the other guy is mentioned?
Matthew Broderick.
Yeah, not a chance.
Not Matthew Broderick.
He cancelled within a week.
Too nice anyway to play anybody like that. Anyway, look at all of his movies. He plays this kind of clean-cut character all the time. No.
Well, I think John Cusack could have pulled off, as I'd mentioned earlier before you came in. I think John Cusack could have pulled off the loser version or the loser side of the down on his luck side of Walter White. I don't necessarily know if he could have even gotten close to the evil.
I don't think anybody can. I think that's one of the things that makes this show so unique. Nobody but Bryan Cranston could have pulled that off. Off in the way he did.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay. If they made it in the 70s. They made it in England in the 70s. I think you could have got Paul Darrow to do it.
Oh yeah,
that would have been really it. But then,
that could have been interesting.
But because he could do like the pathetic and the evil, and he could switch between it. But it'd be a very different show. But
I don't think
England in the 70s. Yeah,
I don't think at any other time this show would have worked. Breaking Bad is the perfect example of capturing lightning in a bottle. Yeah. It's just one of those rare times where everything just melded. And keep in mind when the show aired, the economy started to turn around to the bad in December 2007. This aired, the first episode was January 2008. So as we're watching all this, as we're watching Walter White's life crumble apart, it largely paralleled the economic collapse, at least for the first two seasons. So I think that gives it a timeliness as well.
That's a very good point.
People probably related to his character, probably related to the desperation.
Yeah, like that whole working in the car.
What have I actually left me family? I've left me family nothing, and then there's that desperation to make sure that his family is secure before he dies. Like I agree with you. Everything was just set perfect for when it was released. It was the right time. It was just, and you're right, the first couple of seasons did mirror what was kind of going on around the world, actually. So everybody could relate to his character. They could relate to, what's his name? Jesse, is it?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could relate to his character. Like, so I
It's
mean,
like scenes like you bought paper at Staples. People at that time would have identified with it.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't think you'll ever be able to do that again.
Never.
You know,
No.
Yeah, you're right. It
how
captures that
successful it
moment
was
in
when it
time.
got the movie. How long was the show off air before it got its movie?
Oh, long time.
6 years.
There you go.
And it shows. It so shows. Everybody looks 6 years older, minimally.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, though, if you think about it, 6 years later, and the thing that everybody's still talking about is Breaking Bad, and it made
It's still, yeah. It's
behind to make a movie. So
It's
So
kind of
real,
like.
go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead, Jason.
Well, I got to run here in a second. I just wanted to make sure, I guess, confirm whether or not we're going to be reconvening here on Saturday at 2 per usual for the Picard finale. Is that are we going for Saturday at 2 or?
It's good for me, Bowles. Basically it's up to you, Bowles. Will you be doing you'll be doing a stream at the time or not? It's fine, whatever you want. It's cool.
My whole schedule has just been turned upside down and backwards, so I probably won't know until I get closer to Saturday. I may have to work on Saturday.
I hear it. What about you, Noel?
I'll be definitely available.
Fine. Noel's in there. I think there's enough people.
Because I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah. Let's look at it.
At some point, I'm going to have a
11 and 12. Actually, that's what I'll do. I'll rewatch series 11 and 12, and that might actually knock me out.
Okay, you do that. But one thing I was going to say as well, while I have everybody here. Yeah, at some point, and like I said, everything is upside down and backwards right now. But I'm going to do a Star Trek Picard final season stream on my channel as well. I just have to figure out as to when I can do it. But obviously, everybody here is more than welcome.
Oh, love to go. Yeah.
Be honored. Great.
Okay. Yeah, just before we go, Noel, your favorite moment in Breaking Bad throughout the entire Breaking Bad?
I think it was when Skyler's brother what's his name? Hank, was it? Hank?
Yeah, Hank.
Yeah, when he realized who.
Oh, Walter White was when he's on the bathroom.
Yeah.
And he sees, that's a great moment.
That was brilliant for me. Actually, the series that Bowelstrek talks about is probably one of the best series of the whole thing.
That's a great moment.
I don't really want to say it because we don't want to spoil it for people that haven't watched it. But
I guess so.
Yeah, he kind of.
Okay.
When he realizes, I don't want to too much.
Okay, so there's my one. I'm going to say without spoiling it. Hopefully, there's a scene in it where Jesse's in danger and he has to be put down, he has to be whacked, and you think that's going to happen, and suddenly Walter White turns up in his car, mows down the people who are going to kill him.
That was
shoots him in the face, right, and then looks at Jesse and says, "Run."
That's one of the defining moments in the show. There are so many amazing scenes.
You're like, whoa, that was crazy. But anyway, fine. So, that's our impression of Breaking Bad. Okay, I think we should wrap it up. I want to go to bed, which is I always want to go to bed. But thank you everybody for coming. I thank the panel. I hope we'll put your links to your channels in the video notes. If not, I'll do it. I'll go back and
oh crap! I still have to do that from last weekend. I am so sorry, everyone. It just occurred to me I didn't do that.
Yeah, don't want. Whatever. It's fine. And thank you, everybody in the audience, for coming and listening. And I guess we'll reconvene when we've all finished the first season.
Yeah.
Right? Sound good, everyone?
Sounds like a plan.
Fine.
That's
so
what I'm
good
doing
night.
tonight.
Night.
Be well,
Good night,
all.
everybody. Stay healthy.
Good night,
Stay inside.
Talk to you all soon.